Anybody who works in the bodybuilding field, which I have for some 40 years, just knows the great, heroic, and iconic image of Reg Park.
Born during the Depression and overcoming enormous post-war odds in Britain, Reg Park took on the American bodybuilders and triumphed, not once, not twice, but 3 times over a 14-year period.
How Reg got to be the way he was is a miracle and just a real tribute to his dedication.
I made my mind up I wasn't going to be second to anybody.
It wasn't an easy path, and for him to come out on top the way he did, it just shows you the power of the man, the strength and the desire he had to build a good body, a great physique.
Reg's determination to have the best physique in the world led him to winning the Mr. Universe competition for the first time in 1951.
I think out of the 7 judges in the panel, I got 6 votes. I didn't enter again until 1958.
Reg took the title every 7 years. 51, 58, 65.
By freely sharing his knowledge and wisdom, Reg captured the imagination of young men around the world. One young man in particular from Austria fell under his spell.
He mentored many athletes. Of course, most notably, he was the mentor of Arnold and a great motivator for Arnold.
I set my goal, right? I want to copy Reg Park. I want to be Reg Park. I want to follow his training method, his life philosophy, get into movies, take that money I'm making in the movies and start a gymnasium chain and make millions of dollars. And the whole plan was laid out.
Reg had some good serious talks with him about bodybuilding, about business, and about filmmaking, which Arnold hadn't done.
Reg was instrumental in popularizing the muscular hero of the silver screen when he starred as Hercules in 5 films during the 1950s.
You couldn't meet Reg Park and not be affected. Reg had it all, really. He was Hercules personified, wasn't he?
Reg had a great physique. He was a combination of Herculean size, but incredible shape and symmetry and balance, and lines and aesthetics that you don't see in many bodies.
He was a pioneer in many areas. The strength area, obviously the movies. It was a combination that was just unique in its time.
There were some American bodybuilders that were big, but most of the English guys were very sparrows compared to Reg. He was the first English bodybuilder that had like an American physique.
He was a great bodybuilder, very muscular, but most important of all, he was a real English gentleman.
He just seemed like an unstoppable boar. He was just incredibly moving forward all the time, and that thick neck and traps and shoulders. And when he gave you a handshake, he looked you in the eye and meant it.
Reg accepted Arnold's challenge to enter the Mr. Universe competition in 1970.
He wasn't afraid of staking his reputation and losing.
The era of drug-free bodybuilding ended as Reg graciously handed over the baton to Arnold. He'd lost to a man nearly 20 years his junior by just half a point.
Reg Park didn't know he was inspiring people like myself, but he was. I mean, even through non-verbal communication, even through just the picture, he was saying something to me and affecting my life.
He was special, and bodybuilders loved him. They wanted to be like him.
The great Reg Park used to say, "The fans are the salt of the earth."
His biggest fan was his wife of 55 years.
I just thought he was the most handsome man I'd ever seen in my life. And he seemed so sophisticated. He'd just come from Hawaii. And I thought, wow.
We hit it off right away, we really did. When we discussed it later, Myron said, I knew that you're the man for me. And I said, well, I knew you're the woman for me.
The love he had for Miriam and John and Janess, I mean, his family was paramount to him.
And I really loved the family dynamic, you know, how affectionate he was with his children and how he treated his wife. There was just a wonderful love there.
He was one of a kind. He had this charisma. He was very well spoken. He was very knowledgeable, and he was very accessible.
He's the kind of man that would walk in a room behind you not say a word, and you just knew he was there.
He had a way and a manner that could let you know from across the room that he was displeased.
We were sitting down, as we always do every year, and say, who should get the Lifetime Achievement Award? And I said, Reg Park. And everyone looked at me and they says, of course, Reg Park.
We all stand on somebody else's shoulders, so to speak. And I'm not sure whose shoulders he was standing on. As far as I'm concerned, he invented it, okay? And we're all standing on his shoulders.
Reg, I think, just thought everyone was created equal, and he wanted to treat people just as an equal.
He was a guy that kind of glowed with life, and it was infectious.
He had a knowledge and a wisdom that when Reg spoke, you would listen. It wouldn't penetrate your head, it would penetrate your heart.
He's unique. There'll never be another Reg Park. There never will. And there won't.